5-step drop. Now going to pump and throw down the sideline. Kittle! He's got it and he's gone! Touchdown! San Francisco!
Breaks a tackle, good shifty move, gets that, still going! McCaffrey's gonna score! Pressure coming, Purdy looking for Ayuk. Oh, what a dime by Brock Purdy!
And here's Purdy on a 2nd and 5. Throws over the middle. Wide open, Ricky Pearsall's got the catch. 20, 15, 10, 5. Pearsall all the way to the goal line. Touchdown! McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5. Touchdown! And he's inside of Debo left. Brock again chased out by Raymond Jones. Brock going to run for the end zone and dive for the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Hello and welcome back to First and Faithful. This is a podcast that my brothers and I have started, and what you are doing is we are hearing about the faithful from the faithful. We are here, we're going to try to be here every week, and we just breaking down what's going right for the Niners, what's going wrong for the Niners, what do we need to do as the season progresses. Today I'm joined again by my brother Jorge. Last week it was him and his son. Today it's just us two, and how we feeling?
Feeling good. Yeah, coming off a win. Of course, we kind of expected to beat the Saints, but it turned out to be a little better game than I thought. A little more high scoring, but yeah, ready for this game tomorrow against the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I definitely think that last game did go a little more high scoring than we thought, and there were definitely a few moments that were a little scary. Speaking of, for anybody that's listening, maybe not around the time of this game, we're talking about week 2 against the Saints. Week 2 against the Saints in the 2025 season, right? So starting the season 2-0, I think that's a great way to start the season. I think it does a lot, especially with Brock Purdy out after game 1. Mac Jones comes in. It does a lot for our team to really have the confidence to say we can win a game, right? With obviously Brock Purdy gives us the best chance to do that. Mac Jones was thrown in, and we were still able to get the win. Yeah, it was against the Saints, but I think it was a big game to win. We could not lose that game, right? There was no way.
Yeah, it was one of those games that you kind of, given our schedule and given the stretch of games we have coming up, you can't drop this one against the Saints, right? Like I mentioned it last week. It's like it's like going back to last season, the Browns game, right? That one was a game that like you kind of figure you could pencil in for a win, but obviously Niners dropped that game last year, and you kind of hope that they take these wins against these teams that they should beat, especially considering we are missing some key pieces, but the stretch coming up, 4 of our next 5 games against the Cardinals, the Rams, the Buccaneers, and the Falcons, all teams that we're either going to be competing with in the division or for a playoff spot in the conference. So big time stretch coming up here. So that was good to come away with in that Saints game with the win, 2-0. So hopefully as we continue to get some guys back, get healthy, put together a good stretch here against some competitive teams. But yeah, the good start to the season for sure.
Definitely. And I like how you made the point about the Cardinals and the Rams and obviously the Bucks and Falcons, but I want to focus in also on the Cardinals and Rams. We're not the only team in our division that started 2-0. In fact, we started 2-0, so did the Cardinals and so did the Rams. So it's definitely going to be a fight in the NFC West, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the season, and these next 2 games are going to be big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll get into a little bit more about this next game against the Cardinals a little bit later. But what I want to talk about is what were we expecting last game to look like versus what actually happened, right? I'll get started. When I was kind of expecting, I was expecting a little bit more of a defensive stand. I wasn't expecting, Spencer Rattler to be able to, kind of dish it like how he was dishing it or run like how he was running. I really expected us to kind of really defensively hold off or hold the stance off to what my score prediction was 20 to 10. Um, Final score was actually 26-21, right? And so, that's what I was expecting versus what happened 26-21. Spencer Rattler, I'm not sure what his stats were. He went 25 for 34 with 207 and three touchdowns and no interceptions. I mean, Spencer Rattler is a quarterback that we've heard about for a few years, and it's like it's not for a good reason kind of thing. And we let Spencer Rattler throw for 200 yards and three touchdowns. That was just a little disappointing that what I've seen versus what I was expecting.
Yeah, yeah. I guess focusing on the defensive side of this game first. Yeah, we saw like two critical plays where Spencer Rattler extended drives, and they came off of missed tackles, which like
Hmm.
there's like there's very little that's more frustrating than a missed open field tackle, especially when it's like multiple defenders in the open field against a quarterback. So I mean, those are mistakes. And missing those tackles on Rattler, those are mistakes that can cost the game against a better team. If that's a better team, those are big time mistakes that can cost the game. Like, I mean, we saw last year, Kyler Murray kind of put the dagger in the Niners with the long run, and those again, if we can't make those, if the Niners can't make those tackles, and let these mobile quarterbacks extend drives. I mean, historically, the Niners have had trouble against mobile quarterbacks, and so yeah, like I said, like against a better team, if you can't make those tackles, you can't bring the quarterback down, and letting them extend drives like that against a better team, that's that could cost them the game. So that was one of the one of the things that definitely like to see the Niners clean up. But on the positive side, I mean, we're seeing the difference now that another pass rusher opposite Nick Bosa can do with
Oh
Bryce
yeah.
Huff. Yeah, making that the game the game clinching play there again at the end. Um, so we're seeing like the difference he makes. We're seeing again D Winters making an impact.
Man.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, those are really good things that you love to see. But I definitely want to see the Niners cleaning up those missed tackles because yeah, those missed tackles is really what killed them last year defensively, and so you just want to see them, tighten that up and don't let other teams extend drives, especially like on third and long or fourth downs with missed open field tackles.
No, agreed. And I think also, what was expected, offensively on a good side too. I mean, I didn't expect our offense to, with a new quarterback under center. I mean, I mentioned last week I had confidence in Mac Jones, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But it looked good. Our offense looked solid. There was a few things on our offense that were, I mean, where Mac Jones was kind of looked a little frail in the under center, or just misreads, right? But I think it was good to see, that it was good to see kind of that the offense under with the new quarterback, and without key pieces like George Kittle, Jawan Jennings last minute was able to play, but yeah, I think it was good to see that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, Mac Jones definitely stepped in and did the job. He was for the most part pretty sharp. Made the good plays. I know there was like maybe one or two passes that were kind of Purdy-esque, kind of kind of
Hmm.
trying to get in, taking some risks. But for the most part, I mean, yeah, he other than the fumbles, he made the smart play and. Offense was very functional with Mac Jones, so that's definitely encouraging going into week two, most likely week three most likely without Purdy. But yeah, you know, uh, one thing I love seeing too is 13 carries for McCaffrey, six for Brian Robinson. Um, we're finally starting to see
Yep.
Shanahan give into that, split in the backfield and take the little bit of the load off of McCaffrey. Granted, sure, like Robinson wasn't all that effective. 6 carries for 20 yards, 3.3 average there. Wasn't all that effective, but the fact that, we're only 13 carries for McCaffrey in a mostly neutral game with the Niners playing with the lead. Definitely like to see. I like seeing that that lower carry total. Of course, he was still involved, very involved in the passing game with 7 targets, 6 catches, 52 and a touchdown. So, yeah, I think we're seeing that kind of transition where he's just going to be a little bit more involved in the passing game and easing the load a little bit in the running game. I didn't believe I wasn't going to believe it until I see it, right? And I think
Oh
we're
yeah.
starting to see it now a little bit. Because I mean, yeah, going back last year, you would see Jordan Mason get like 1 carry, and it's like, come on, like give Mason a few more
Yeah.
touches. We got to try to preserve McCaffrey, and so I'm glad to see Shanahan kind of giving into that philosophy a little bit. And then yeah, you mentioned Jennings. I mean, man, he before the season, they adjusted his contract to give more incentives, and he is trying to earn that for sure. I mean, he is
Oh,
going out there
definitely.
with injured shoulder, coming off calf injury. I mean, he is just out there. He's a gamer, man. He's a baller for sure. And I mean, maybe his his want like asking price. I mean, maybe his kind of hold in through training camp. Maybe it was justified. I mean, he is the wide receiver one for this team right now. I mean, we
Oh,
thought like,
definitely.
that it would be Pearsall, but Jennings, even playing through injuries, earning 10 targets, 5 catches, 89 yards, broke that long 42 yarder for a touchdown. I mean, right now, with what's available, I mean, he is the number one weapon in the passing game right now. So maybe
Definitely.
maybe he was a little justified in being like, hey, like I want a little more here. But yeah, love seeing that. Um, yeah, looking
Yeah.
good.
I think it'll be interesting too to see, when Brendan Ayuk gets back, right? It's like
Hmm.
kind of how is that going to look? I doubt Brandon Ayuk won't be, a clear wide receiver one right away when he comes back. I mean, he might have to fight his way, to wide receiver one with Jennings. You know what I mean? Jennings is looking solid to earn 10 targets. I know Ayuk comes back and those targets might dwindle a little bit, but look at what he's doing with those targets, right? You know what I mean? It's not just about the amount of targets, but what are you doing with the targets that you do have? And Jennings, I mean, he did get he only caught half of his targets, but part of it was Mac Jones, part of it was him. But for 89 yards and a touchdown, that's I mean, you can't ask for much more with a 42 yarder, right? And so it was good to see. It was really good to see what went well. I think uh, like you mentioned earlier, McCaffrey kind of only getting 13 carries. I'm still a little skeptical. I'm not kind of like, oh, we're out of the waters yet. Kind of I'm
Hmm.
still a little skeptical. Um, I guess my thing is we'll really see this week against the Cardinals. Mac Jones playing again, right? Christian McCaffrey last year against the Cardinals had 4 touchdowns, right? Um, we'll really see. I think big part of it was also with the quarterback, backup quarterback you put in and give him 39 passes, right? I mean, he threw 39 passes. That's Shanahan showing trust. Shanahan showing like we're not gonna back down. Yeah, we have a rookie quarter or not rookie backup quarterback. We have faith in this backup quarterback, right? Uh, Mac Jones did really good. I mentioned last week I have confidence in Mac Jones, and in my opinion, he showed out, right? Like 26 for 39, 279 yards. He had a 66% completion percentage, um, with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. You know what I mean? I think that is more than what you can, more than like ask for. It's more than what you can expect from a backup quarterback coming in. I really like Mac Jones. I think we could see something similar to Mac Jones that we did with Sam Darnold on the Niners. I think we have a Mac Jones on a 1 year deal. I think after the season he can go be a starting quarterback for someone. Um, that's me. Maybe I'm higher on
Yeah.
Mac Jones than others. Um, maybe I'm higher on Mac Jones than others, but I really do see, people. I think it'll also depend on how he plays this week, right? But Mac Jones looks like he. There was, like I said, a few plays where he looked a little frail under center, but he
No, he
looks
can
solid.
he can clearly operate in an NFL offense. Yeah. You going back to your point on like Ayuk and how he's going to mix in with the receivers and his return along with hopefully getting George Kittle back when he's eligible. I think we're gonna kind of see this offense in the mold of like you look at like what the Buffalo Bills or the LA Chargers you see or even the Ravens, like you see what teams like that are doing where like they're just spreading the ball around and it's like one
Oh
game's gonna
yeah,
be one guy, another game it could be another. Like we just saw Josh Allen spread it around against the Dolphins and um, the Chargers are doing it. So I think just having the full complement of weapons is just going to be so much better. Uh, but yeah, I'm definitely encouraged and excited with this start to the season.
definitely, definitely. Let me ask you a question. Based on this last game, right? Who would you say is your 49ers player of the week?
Oh man, I think I'd give it to Mac Jones.
Really?
I think I'd give it to Mac Jones. Yeah, yeah, for stepping in and getting the job done. I mean, 3 touchdowns, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, got the job done.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'd go Mac Jones, player of the game.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I was debating, right? Between Mac Jones and, in my opinion, Fred Warner. Fred Warner
Hmm.
played a beautiful game. He had
Oh yeah,
11 total tackles, 6 solo tackles, a tackle for loss. I think he had
forced
what was
fumble.
it, forced fumble. Um, it's just, man, that's like a perfect game.
Yeah,
I've been really debating between the two. I got to give it to Fred Warner. I know Mac Jones carried us through our offense. Fred Warner carried us through our defense. We gave up 21 points to the Saints, but it might have been a whole lot more without Fred Warner. You know what I mean? So that's my player of the game. Fred Warner played a beautiful game, and man, D Winters and Fred Warner is looking really, really solid in that. In the linebacker as a linebacker duo. I mean, nobody expected this to happen. Nobody expected this. Going into the season, we just lost. Um, um, why am I blinking? We
Dre
we just
Greenlaw.
lost Dre Greenlaw. Yeah, we just lost Dre Greenlaw, right? I mean, everybody was expecting. We saw how it looked when without Dre Greenlaw last season with Devondre Campbell and whoever else we plugged in there, right? And it was kind of like, well, I mean, it's looking all right. It's not really looking, 49ers really need that other piece. You can tell that we were missing Dre Greenlaw, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
D Winters comes in and just goes crazy, really. 8 tackles, 6 solo tackles, and it was just like I mean, even just watching him out there was a masterpiece, right? I know a lot of 49ers, like fan pages and stuff, are trying to come up with names for the linebacker duo, but man, is it pretty interesting to watch?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I saw Shanahan mention in one of his press conferences this week that Winters like has that potential to be that like uh to be that Greenlaw type, to be that next great linebacker next to Warner, for him and Warner to be that next great duo. So I think we're seeing that, and it's awesome to see Winters flourishing right now.
Definitely, definitely. Well, let's why don't we go ahead and move on to what's we got week 3 coming up, you know, against the Cardinals. I believe it's our home opener. Um, week 3 against the Cardinals, home opener. Mac Jones is in. I don't believe oh yeah, Kittle's out, right? I saw Jawan Jennings didn't practice. I don't know what his status
He's
is.
questionable.
Questionable. He's probably going to play, to be honest, if what happened
Yeah.
last week, right? So, what are we kind of expecting for this game, this next game, and what do you think we need to do in order to win?
Well, I hope that we see, more of the same from the offense. Mac Jones being careful with the ball, making the good plays, good throws, and um, I think the biggest thing will be uh, number one, limiting Kyler Murray and his mobility, making those tackles that I mentioned before that could be killer against a better team like the Cardinals. Um, and taking away his number one weapon in Trey McBride. I think that
Oh yeah,
the Niners have been historically good against linebackers. I mean, against tight ends.
tight ends.
And when you have a linebacker like Fred Warner, who I mean, he can line up and cover a receiver. I mean, so he's yeah. When you have a linebacker that can cover like Fred Warner does, I think yeah it's no wonder, yeah, Niners have been good against tight ends for the most part. So I think yeah, limiting Kyler's effectiveness on the ground and then taking away his number one weapon in Trey McBride. I think those two are going to be the big things on defense, and then yeah, just offensively continuing to have successful drives. We saw Pinheiro.
I
Uh,
was literally about to mention
Yeah,
him. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Eddie Pinheiro, he missed the extra point, right? Didn't he miss?
He did. He missed
He,
the first extra
he missed
point,
the
and
first extra point.
every 49ers fan was like, "Here we go again," right?
Yeah. Honestly, I still wasn't all that mad because it was because it wasn't Jake Moody.
Oh, I
Um,
know, honestly.
but
Yeah.
no, then he comes back and he nails the two field goals. So, um, yeah, just getting into scoring position and executing, putting points on the board. I do expect a competitive game. I do expect a competitive game, but like you said, it's home opener. Um, yeah, I think the Cardinals first two games we saw them against the Saints and against the Panthers. So two teams that are kind of, I mean, to be honest, I mean, two kind of bottom teams. And
Yep.
we saw them for the most part say the Saints kind of stick around with them, and then the Cardinals almost blew the game last week against the
Yep.
Panthers. Panthers almost
Hmm.
almost came back, had a chance to score twice at the end there to to tie it or win. So, yeah, I think this Cardinals team is very, very beatable. That's for sure. And I think it's going to be a competitive game. Of course, it is division. These divisional games tend to, be definitely more difficult. A team that's kind of historically given us a hard time. So, yeah, I expect a very competitive game. But I think, at least I hope, yeah, that the Niners would come on top here, come out on top at home.
Yeah. I think thinking back on last week, how last week went for the Cardinals and Panthers, I mean, look at Kyler Murray only threw 25 passes. And on those 25, he only completed 17 of them, right? James Conner rushed 11 times. It's like, when you look at that, I mean, if you didn't look at the score and you didn't look at what happened, you would think that team for sure lost, right? You know what I mean? Kyler Murray threw for 17 with 220 yards and a touchdown. James Conner rushed for 11 times for only 34 yards and a touchdown, right? So you're thinking like, man, depending on who they're going against, that's not a recipe to succeed, right? You know what I mean? I wouldn't be too worried about the Arizona passing game. I think your key on Fred Warner is huge, right? Key on Fred Warner locking up Trey McBride is going to be huge. Another thing, Diamondor Lenore has been playing an incredible season. He was also in my probably in my top contention for Player of the Week last week, but I really do think Dylan Lenore has been playing a really good season. Got paid last year, so he's probably he's been feeling good. Um, I think he'll have no problem locking up Marvin Harrison, right? Well, my concern is just our other corners, right? I think last week our other corners kind of slipped up a few times, right? Let a few passes through. So it's just going to be, I mean, Rashid Shaheed, right? Last week had a pretty solid game against the Niners, right? Um, so it's just going to be kind of like that. I wouldn't be too worried on the passing game. We got to lock down Kyler Murray in the running game. We cannot let Kyler Murray. I mean, last week Kyler Murray rushed, 7 times for 32 yards, but his long was a 30 yarder, right? So that he had a long 30-yard run, and it's like I think it's kind of almost like you're gonna expect Kyler Murray to run. You are gonna expect him to kind of break off a few here and there, but how can we limit that? What's the best way that we can limit that? And if it does happen, we cannot let those happen in the crucial moments, right? We got
Yeah.
to really hone in on the crucial moments, on the third and longs, right? Or even on the third downs in general, right? In the red zone, we cannot let that happen, right? So it's going to be interesting to see. I think that's what we really need to do to win. I expect a good game. I really do. I expect a competitive game. Uh, I really do think that both the 49ers and the Cardinals will have a good game, but from the 49ers, I really do expect an offensive, like solid offensive game from us. I think Mac Jones is his second week under center is gonna kind of look a little bit better than he did last week, kind of getting a little bit more comfortable with his reads, with the offense, with everything. I know we don't have George Kittle, but Luke Farrell had a touchdown last week, right? Um, Having Luke Farrell or Jake Tonges also had a solid game last week. Uh, just having a few people that you look downfield field if Jawan Jennings isn't open, you check down at Chris McCaffrey or Luke Farrell or one of our guys. I do expect a big game from Christian McCaffrey as well. I think he'll be a big factor in our win. Um, but it's going to be interesting to see. It really is going to be an interesting game. I think that's what we can expect, and like I said, what I think we need to do to win, I think we need to lock down Kyler Murray in the running game. I trust DeAndre Lenore and Fred Warner to kind of do their thing against their matchups, right? Um, Offensively, what we need to do to win is put points on the board. You know what I mean? Our red zone offense has to. We can't. I mean, we can't always. We won't win a game, kicking field goals in the red zone every time. You know what I mean? Yeah, it'll help us out. We need to convert those field goals to touchdowns, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and I know it's really hard with George Kittle out. He was been our biggest, he's taken our highest red zone targets. But being in the red zone without him, we're gonna need to look to Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings. We're gonna need to look to like last week. You saw Luke Farrell take that role with the first touchdown. I mean, that was great. So it's just converting those field goals and touchdowns in the red zone is what we need to do to win this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I know this week was a little bit of a shorter episode, but what I do want to get into before we head out is I want to do two things. One, what one player of this game? Last week we did a 49ers player of the week for last week. What player do we expect to have a really good game this week?
Oh, shoot. I think I'm I think I'm gonna say it's gonna be another Jawan Jennings game.
Really?
If he plays. If he plays.
Yeah, that's funny. I was thinking more Ricky Pearsall. That was that was my player, right? I was between Pearsall and McCaffrey, but I think it's going to be a big Ricky Pearsall game, Week 3 against the Cardinals. Um, I'm pretty stoked to see how Ricky Pearsall matches up this week. I'm not too sure what their defensive matchups are, but yeah, I'm pretty stoked for that. I think for me, I got Ricky Pearsall having a good game this week. Yeah. Yeah, moving on before we send off this episode, what's our score predictions? What do we think is going to happen this week? How how much scoring you think is going to take place, right? Both on the Niners side and Cardinal side.
Oh man, yeah, divisional game, home opener for the Niners. I'm gonna say 49ers 24, Cardinals 20.
That's dang. Yeah, that's a good one. I was gonna say I think it was gonna be a little more scoring for me, in my opinion. I think I was gonna say 49ers 30 and Cardinals 24.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'll be a close game, a one score game for sure.
Yeah.
But I do think we can. I think we'll score. I think we'll see today or not today, technically tomorrow. I think we see a Kittle or not Kittle, McCaffrey touchdown. I think we see a Pearsall touchdown. I think we see a Jennings touchdown. You know what I mean? Um, I think I think we honestly we may even see a defensive touchdown. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. I do think our offense is going to be clicking, and I think we can really use the confidence going into to the week 4 against the Rams, going into week 5 against the Bucks, going into week 6 against the Falcons.
Fours again.
Um,
Well, we got the Jaguars first. Yeah,
oh,
Jaguars.
Jaguars, that's what it
Yeah,
was.
and then we got the
Hope,
Rams, Bucks, and Falcons.
yeah, but I think we could really use this confidence, knowing, hey, we won our divisional game. Let's go, play the Jaguars. Let's go play the Rams, and it'll be huge. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, well, that was First and Faithful. Again, you heard about the faithful from the faithful, right? So we're going to be coming out with an episode, like I said, trying to do one every week. Um, this first 2 weeks we've been posting on Saturdays, the day before the games. We're going to see when we can do the next ones. That's just kind of what works out for us in our schedules. Um, but yeah, is there anything else you have to say before we head out?
No, just yeah, looking forward to enjoying this game tomorrow, and we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, what are you doing to watch the game?
No particular plans, just
Yeah.
yeah, just here at home.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna watch the game on the big LED wall tomorrow that
Nice.
I've been talking about. So at work, at the job that I work at, we have a big 32-foot by 10-foot LED wall. Um, I just use half of it 16 by 10, and I watched week 1 on it, so I'm gonna try to watch week 3 on it. But
Nice.
yeah. Well, there we go. That's there we have it for episode 2 of First and Faithful. Thank you guys for tuning in, and hope to see you guys next week.